Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
The Jackson 5.
Five little monkeys jumping on the bed.
And this is your 5-minute ab workout, you guys. It is quick and dirty.
Number 5 is alive.
5 is right out.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Let our powers combine. Earth. Fire. Wind. Water. Heart.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
Last week, I went 5 for 5, the first time that either Grok or myself have gone perfect in our college football predictions for this season. This week, we have 5 more picks for 5 more games. Stay tuned to find out what they are. So I took last week off, and in week 7, I predicted 7 games. As you can see here, Grok got 6 out of the 7 correct, ultimately scoring 50 points. For week 8, Grok also had a good result, getting 4 out of 5 correct, scoring 35 points, only missing Utah BYU last week. In week 7, I was also almost perfect, getting 6 out of 7 games correct, and I would like to toot my own horn a little bit about calling Indiana over Oregon. So in week 7, I got 59 points, still beating out Grok. And then in week 8, I called the Utah loss to BYU, in other words, the BYU upset over Utah. But I didn't get any underdog bonus points because in order for the bonus to kick in, the underdog has to be at least a 3.5 point underdog. So even so, I got all 5 games correct in week 8, 5 for 5 for 41 points. And last, the cumulative score over the course of the season so far. You can see that my lead over Grok continues to grow. At the same time, there doesn't seem to be a very clear correlation, if any correlation at all, between Grok's average from the line and my average prediction from the line. Obviously, I've been higher than Grok has the whole time. Grok has chosen only 3 or 4 underdogs the entire season, and I expect that to continue for the rest of the season, unless I explicitly ask Grok to pick more underdogs. I said at the beginning of the year that one of my goals was to predict at least one game for every team in the P4, and I've already predicted a couple for Baylor, but none for Cincinnati, so I thought this was a good matchup to choose. I don't really have much of a read on Cincinnati so far this year, but I have watched a good bit of Sawyer Robertson, the quarterback at Baylor, and I've been impressed so far, so I'm going to take Baylor 21-18, but obviously Grok is taking Cincinnati, the favorite, by 7. Another team I haven't predicted yet this year is the Kansas Jayhawks, who are taking on the Kansas State Wildcats in the Sunflower Showdown. Grok and I are both choosing the favorite here, although I do like Kansas by a little bit more, 27-20, and Grok has them 34-31. The Aggies are rolling and the Tigers are reeling. But you can see here Texas A&M is only favored by 2.5 because it is the primetime game of the week at Death Valley at night. Even so, I've been impressed with Texas A&M on both sides of the ball, and LSU continues to flounder, especially on offense. So I've got A&M by 14, and Grok just likes A&M by 6. Oklahoma's favored by 4.5 against Ole Miss, which I thought was a pretty surprising opening line for this game, but in retrospect it kind of makes sense because OU has such a great talent profile, and overall their defense has been looking excellent, and their offense has been improving week by week, especially with John Mateer now back at the helm. On the other hand, Ole Miss has a very creative coach who knows how to score a lot of points. So you can see Grok and I are on different sides of this one. I've got Ole Miss by a touchdown, and Grok has OU by a field goal. Last, we have Missouri visiting Vanderbilt, where Old Man Pavia will be taking on Bo Pribula and the Tigers. As you can see, Grok and I are basically exactly in line with our predictions here. So I've got Vandy 31-28, and Grok has Vandy 31-27. All right, That's it for my Week 9 predictions. A couple of other games that I have my eye on are Syracuse at Georgia Tech. Can the Yellow Jackets keep their perfect season going? And Tennessee at Kentucky for the battle for the beer barrel. Let me know what you think in the comments. And otherwise, I'll see you next week.